Welcome to Designs for the Curious. My name is Eduardo and I'm a designer. Hey guys, I'm going to be talking about industrial design and 3 things you should know about the profession. I'm going to try to keep things as simple as possible so I don't overload you guys with way too much information. Let's get started. First thing, what is industrial design? Industrial design consists of the design of pretty much everything. Now let me explain. I'm going to be citing the Industrial Design Society of America because their definition is actually pretty straightforward and easy to understand of what is an industrial designer. So I quote, "Industrial design is the professional practice of designing products, devices, objects, and services used by millions of people around the world each day." There's more to this definition on their page, but I'm going to be breaking it down to kind of explain more in depth about what is really industrial design. Basically, we design everyday products. What does this mean? Anything around you. I'm honest. Seriously, look around you. If you find a pen, you find a bottle, you find a box, you find your monitor, you have your keyboard, you have your phone, a car, a watch, whatever it is, industrial designers are the ones who design them. Obviously, there are architects, buildings and houses, fashion designers, and all those people who also specialize in certain areas of design or engineering or whatever. But industrial design kind of fuses a lot of things together. We design products that are either physical or non-physical products that consists of trying to solve a certain or a specific problem that a client or a person has, or the world in general, really. Although this is a very broad definition of what is industrial design, the beauty of this profession is that we are very, very versatile professionals. And what I mean by that is that we are constantly learning and meeting with other professionals from other areas so we can learn and integrate whatever subject we need to learn into our projects. What is so and so? How can I solve so and so? Can I do this? Can I do that? And the end result is that we do get a product that functions as it should and solves the problems adequate. Basically, our specialty is to specialize in whatever the client needs. Now, the second part of the definition of the Industrial Design Society. Industrial designers typically focus on the physical appearance, functionality, and manufacturability of a product, though they are often involved in far more during the development cycle. All of this ultimately extends to the overall lasting value and experience a product or service provides for end users. Now, I'm gonna divide this definition into the first part where it states the physical appearance, functionality, and manufacturability of a product, and then the overall experience the user can have with the product. But as it states, we are definitely far more involved in almost until the product is literally in the market. We want to make sure that the product functions, looks, and is produced as we want it to be. It is important to acknowledge that industrial designers don't necessarily only focus on the superficial aspects of a product or lightly touch functionality or lightly touch on how it's going to be manufactured. We do have a say in that because we end up researching heavily on what is best for the product, what is best for the client, what is best for the user. But we do have to make sure that the product is market ready and viable for large scale manufacturing. Although, making a quick parenthesis, yes, there are designers who specialize in making one-off products, but those are usually oriented more towards furniture, or if a client goes to them asking for a very specific need because they have for example, they have a child who has so-and-so need or so-and-so problem, and there's nothing in the market available right now. So they will go to them and ask them, hey, I need an object or product or this or that to accommodate my child. And they do end up being like one-off products, or they're either like more decorative or functional. There's so many variables that needs to be taken into account when making one-off products. But in the end, you still need to make a decision how the product is gonna be manufactured or fabricated, whatever you wanna call it, if it's either handmade or if it's large-scale produced. What I mean by that, you have to take into consideration the materials, the fabrication process, and the budget. All of that is gonna affect the design at the end. Let's take IKEA for example. They have very specific products that they sell in their store. They have certain parameters set on their furniture design. They have to be light. They have to be easy to assemble. Easy to assemble. They have to be modern, minimalist. There's so many variables. They do have a certain style. If I'm designing a furniture for IKEA, I'm not gonna propose, hey, I made this table and chair made out of 1/4-inch stainless steel that weighs like 100 pounds, and the only pieces that can be like assembled by the user is this and this support, and we would need practically a huge box and a truck to be able to transport it. It is not light. We need like 10 people. They're gonna look at me and they're gonna laugh and absolutely like trash my design because I didn't take into consideration fabrication process, materials, and whatever, because they have certain parameters set. And when talking about one-off products, obviously you're not limited to those types of rule sets. All right, now let's go to that other part of the definition where I talk about the overall experience a user has with the product. Basically, we ensure that the product we design solves the original problem we were designing it for. Obviously, right? That's pretty straightforward, but we do need to take in consideration the balance of aesthetics, functionality, manufacturability, ergonomics, all of that. So not only do we actually need to solve that functionality problem, we also need to make sure that the user will use it. It's very straightforward, but it does require tons and tons of research. And by that, I mean tons of research. So that's where all the other components of that definition comes in, the aesthetics part, the functionality and the manufacturability, ergonomics. I'm gonna add to that. You can go to the Industrial Design Society of America's page and actually like read a little bit more in depth of like what industrial designers do, because I'm not gonna list all the things we can pretty much design. All right, let's move on to the second key feature, key thing you need to know about industrial design. The difference between industrial design and product design. This is doozy. Why? Because it's not really clear. It's not really straightforward. The definition is definitely gonna vary on who you ask. And you're gonna find a bunch of different answers on the internet. You're gonna find answers that say it's pretty much the same thing. Others, they're gonna be like, no, it's not the same thing. Me, I would say they're pretty much almost the same. The only difference is the focus. Let's break apart the titles, right? You have industrial designers and then you have product designers. Industrial, mass production, right? Very industrial, that word. And product, well, we're talking about a single product. To me, that is basically the difference. Industrial designers would focus more on large scale production, or like products that would lead to, we're not gonna do one-offs, we're not gonna do just like 5 or 10, we're gonna be pretty much designing a product that would satisfy thousands, if not millions of people. Hopefully, that is the hope of every industrial designer. And product designers would generally focus on one thing. Their preparation, their mindset, kind of for the most part of the project is the same. And what I mean by that is that they both have to do tons of research. They both have to create prototypes. They both have to conceptualize or like focus on aesthetics and functionality and actually manufacturing both. The difference is that in the manufacturing part, the industrial designers are going to be looking at manufacturing techniques that would apply to big scale productions, and product designers would probably focus more alongside of like very specific types of manufacturing that not necessarily is very viable for large scale production. Both are pretty much the same thing, but obviously the mindset would shift, right? For certain part of the project, same manufacturing, that's where they kind of like drift off, like in one of my examples that I previously mentioned with the child and stuff. Industrial designers can design for like one-offs, and product designers, if they do their research, they can design for large-scale productions. I honestly don't see like a very big difference in both. So now to the final key thing you need to know about industrial design. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Should you study industrial design? Yes.